Life on the Henderson farm pulsed with the seasons. Spring planting's hopeful chaos, summer's sun-baked labor, autumn's grateful harvest, and winter's quiet repair. Yet beneath this cycle of toil lay something deeper. An unspoken covenant between the family and the land, embodied most profoundly in their relationship with Bessie, the shaggy, brown and white dairy cow who anchored the barnyard. Her stall wasn't merely shelter. It was a sanctuary where generations of Hendersons had sought solace, pressing teary cheeks against her warm flank or whispering worries into her flicking ear. Bessie wasn't just livestock. She was living history. Her wise, liquid eyes held the memory of droughts survived and blizzards weathered. She'd nursed calves, outlived barn cats, and greeted each Henderson child with the same soft, rumbling snuffle. Her presence was a steady heartbeat in the farm's daily rhythm, a comforting constant as reliable as sunrise. When young Lily Henderson felt overwhelmed by school or chores, she'd curl against Bess's broad side, the cow's rhythmic chewing and earthy scent dissolving her anxieties. Over decades, subtle patterns emerged. Long before weather radios crackled or skies bruised, Bessie sensed the shift. Her tranquil cud chewing would cease abruptly. Her massive head would lift, nostrils flaring wide as if tasting ozone on an invisible wind. A restless energy would seize her. A hoof would thud-thud-thud insistently against the worn oak planks of the barn floor, kicking up straw. Then came the sound, low, resonant, purposeful moos, not the contented sighs of pasture, but urgent foghorn blasts aimed squarely at the farmhouse kitchen window. One oppressive July afternoon, Bess's warnings escalated into near frenzy. Sweat darkened her coat, her eyes rolled white, and her moos became a desperate, almost panicked chorus. Neighbors might have scoffed at old Lady Henderson's superstitious cow, but the family knew better. Trust carved through doubt. Mr. Henderson dropped his wrench mid-repair, bellowing orders. Bess's singing move. Now the farm snapped into high gear, urgency thick in the humid air. While Mrs. Henderson herded bleating goats and flapping chickens into the fortified stone feed shed, Mr. Henderson raced to chain down loose hay balers and tractors. Lily sprinted across the yard, snatching laundry as the wind, suddenly icy and fierce, snatched sheets from her grasp. They tumbled into the cramped, damp storm cellar just as an unnatural, sickly green swallowed the daylight. A moment later, the tornado siren's wail sliced through the rising roar, confirmation arriving terrifyingly late. Huddled in the trembling dark, the cellar door vibrating like a drumhead, they listened to the world above tear itself apart. The monstrous shriek of wind, the sickening crunch of timber, the distant tinkle of shattering glass. Through it all, Lily imagined she could still hear Bess's defiant moo. When the deafening fury passed, replaced by an eerie, rain-lashed silence, they emerged. The north pasture was scoured bare, an ancient oak ripped from the earth like a weed. But the house stood. The barn stood. Bessie stood, coated in mud and straw, calmly watching them from her miraculously intact stall door. Insurance adjusters cited luck. Meteorologists later confirmed a pressure drop detectable by sensitive animals. But the Hendersons knew the truth lay deeper than science. Bess's vigilance was the echo of 1,000 mornings where her feed pail was filled first, of winters her stall was banked with fresh straw, of gentle hands easing her calf's first steps. Her warning wasn't just instinct, it was devotion made manifest. She was their silent, steadfast guardian, a bridge between the practical world of farming and the profound mystery of connection. Life returned to the scarred farm, but everything felt sharper, more precious. Now, when Bessie lifts her head and sniffs the breeze, the family pauses, truly listening. They understand her language, the flick of an ear, the weight of her gaze, the timbre of her moo. She remains their humble, four-legged oracle. Have you ever felt that silent understanding, that instinctive protection from an animal? It speaks of bonds woven deeper than words. In our next story, prepare for something extraordinary. Meet Max, the farm dog who didn't just warn of tornadoes. He chased them, leading his family straight into the heart of the storm for a reason no one could have imagined.